You see the sign?
Everybody, you ready? I'm ready.
I wanted to make it simple. So
Do
where
it.
you can. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Be safe. This is the biggest group. Be safe. It's going to be a little bit of a hike the bike past that wrought iron bridge anyways. You've already free road, you know.
All right, here we go. The start of the Mohican mountain bike race, 100K. This is in Loudonville, Ohio, which is about 5 hours from Grand Rapids. I did do it last year as well, but it was shortened to 29 miles because of COVID. This year was a completely different experience, and I knew it'd be the toughest day on a bike in my career for sure, and it turned out to be that by far, times 10. This guy right here in front of me to the left told me at the start that he had done the Lumberjack 100 a couple times. I didn't catch his name, but I thought, you know, he might be a good guy to stick with. It sounds like he knows what he's doing. Also, my buddy Mike is starting in the older age group, 5 minutes behind me, and he's a faster rider than me, so I know that at some point today he's going to catch me. So this is a huge climb right off the bat here, and I'm going to run into some slow traffic and have to dismount. And that guy that I wanted to stick with, he was able to get through it and took off, so I never did see him again.
Right, dude.
The course was really well marked, and there's volunteers everywhere at all the major turns. A really well-run event. I would recommend the Mohican to anybody that's near the area. And here we are pushing our bikes up the hill. This was the first of basically an all-day event of pushing bikes up these super steep climbs.
Yay!
Once you get out of the Mohican Adventures campground, it's about, I think, 15 miles of single track to start the race. So not an easy way to start. Very difficult right from the beginning.
Oh my gosh, you're going downhill. Yeah. That's it.
I definitely burnt too many matches too early. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the race and the adrenaline rush, and you want to chase these other riders through the woods, and you have no idea if they're fast or slower. You know, we had planned on it being an 8-hour race. It ended up taking me 11 hours and 20 minutes. But I wish I had saved a little bit more at the beginning, which was the one thing I told myself. Save yourself at the beginning, but again, that's hard to do.
Doesn't matter how fast you're going, as long as you pass somebody once in a while, you feel good, you know.
Thank you.
Are you 50 group?
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's the first of the 50-year-old rider group passing me. So they started 5 minutes behind us. We're probably 30 minutes into the race, so that dude is fast. And I know my buddy Mike is somewhere behind me.
Go, go. You're good.
So that's a lot of energy to be burning on these climbs this early in the race. And you can see here, I'm just gonna stop on the side of the trail and catch my breath and try to get my my racing heart beat under control.
Are we in first? I think so. All right. Do it, do it. All right, one more. Do it, do it. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Right. You're on video, so do something cool. Yeah. 5 minutes. We've gone almost 4 miles. That's 6.5 miles an hour average. That puts us like 9 hours or more, but hoping with gravel roads next in we can pick up that average MPH. The goal is 8-hour finish, roughly. We've done a lot of single track and a lot of climbing though in these first 4 miles.
Well, I love the optimism in my voice there, as if suddenly we're going to come across these flat gravel roads and make up a bunch of time. Yeah, that never happened. Even the gravel roads were just straight uphill, some of them just impossible to climb.
I think it goes left, eh, or not? Just missed it. Go ahead, go ahead.
All right, it's a
I don't know
long
how I
day.
missed it.
I've been worried about that.
At least we realized it there, not a mile up the road.
Yeah. It's got a long day.
Yep.
I have my GoPro Hero 8 mounted on my handlebars. I prefer the view where it's mounted on my chest, my chesty mount, but for a ride this long, I felt like that would be too uncomfortable. And then I have it wired to an external battery pack, which is in my top tube bag. I only have footage for about the first 3/4 of the race because the camera either overheated, it was almost 90-degree day, or it's possible that the battery pack died. The next time I try this on a ride this long, I will bring a second battery pack and switch it out, put it in my drop bag, so you switch it out about halfway.
Thank you. Finish. All right, we're at 10 miles, 1 hour, 28 minutes, 6.4 average miles an hour. Just walked a monster climb, try to conserve a little energy. I feel like I've been burning a ton of matches here in the first hour.
Come by, Hutch. Okay, have a good race.
Hey, good luck to you, man. Save me a beer.
Yeah. You said 13 kegs.
So there's my buddy Mike. He started in the wave behind me, and as anticipated, he caught me. I think we're about an hour and 30 minutes into the race at this point. He's riding a beautiful Specialized Epic, and I'm on my Trek Stash hardtail with 3-inch plus tires. I have a GX Eagle drivetrain, 34 tooth front chainring, and 10x50 rear cassette. Smaller front chain ring maybe would have been nicer for some of these climbs, or maybe I know some of the new cassettes go up to 52 tooth rear cog in the back, which would have been nice for these climbs. But for the most part, it's a very great versatile setup. I just put a new RockShox Yari fork on the front, so shout out to the Trek Stash Facebook group for some advice on picking out the right fork, and it was great for the bike today.
If it's downhill the rest of the way, I might stay with you.
Yeah. Well, that's last downhill one. It's very relaxing, I can tell you that.
Hell no. Oh yeah? I've hit 2 trees, haven't gone down yet. Can't find it, grind it, Michael.
Well, I'm hitting the buttons. My hand is hard to be doing that. Yeah. So 2 already to 50.
2 hours in, we've gone almost 13 miles. Average pace is 6.3. We're doing a crazy amount of climbing. I don't know if that miles per hour average is going to pick up. I hope it does, but this day is turning into a very difficult day. The good news is, I passed a bunch of people who stopped at first aid station. Bad news is I didn't know it was the aid station, so I didn't fill my water. So I got to go, I think, another 12 miles on 1 bottle of water, which is not ideal, but it's doable. Thank you very much. Alright, I thought we were going to get some road here, but I'm going back in the woods.
So the GoPro does not do a good job of showing elevation, and all of this is super steep, whether it's downhill or uphill. Lots of rocks and tree roots, and I would compare this, if you're from the Grand Rapids area, there's a Black Diamond trail called Sawtooth in the Merrill Trail system, and this is similar to that. Everything is just rocky.
Not worth it right now. Nope. So you gotta let the right leg do 80% of the work because the left one is cramping. Alright, 3 hours in, still struggling with left leg cramps. 18 miles down, 6.0 average miles per hour. Oh, it's gonna be a long day out here. Kind of in survival mode. Still having fun nonetheless, but kind of miserable at the same time. So certainly not worried about pace or anything at this point. It's just trying to get to the finish line. 3 hours, 12 minutes, 19.3 miles. I'm actually on a paved road. Unbelievable. I'm like not even a third of the way there, and it's probably been the toughest ride of my life so far. So.
You're going the wrong way there, mister.
Had to get some footage of you walking your bike so that you can't say it didn't happen.
All right, so as you can see, I'm back with Mike. He also missed aid station 1. So both of us rode from about the 2-hour mark to the 4-hour mark without any water. And we were both cramping pretty badly.
Can you bring it over here? Thank you.
So 2 miles to the aid station, she says, which would be mile 28. It'll be our first aid station because we missed the first one. I would say this is the toughest part of the race. We're like 4 hours in, and we're doing the math on how long this day is going to take us. And it just seems like it's never going to end, and it's way longer than we anticipated. And this was, mentally, this was the toughest part by far. So there's a fast downhill there on the road, and then there's a long climb where we're just pushing our bike straight up the hill to get to this aid station. But we finally get to the aid station, and there's a lot of guys hanging around. You can tell some of them are just done. They're not going to continue. And others are just trying to catch their breath and pound some water, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, cookies, any sugar they can get in to give them a little boost here at this point.
If you weren't here, I'd already be back at the campground.
Well, I am here.
That's awesome. That's called accountability, right?
This is the accountability. It's on video. Come on, Mike.
I'm ready to go home.
It's that way.
It's about 40 miles that way, right?
This is the
Hey, thanks for everything, guys. All right, we're about 5 hours in, about 30 miles in. We missed the first aid station, finally hit the one at mile 28. Had a cookie, a PB&J, a whole bunch of water, refilled our waters. We are much happier. Triple arrow down.
So triple arrow down means extremely dangerous terrain. And I think we're entering the rock gardens here that the Mohican Forest is famous for. Mike has chosen not to continue. Again, we're probably 5 hours in, 30 miles roughly on a 66-mile day. The website doesn't seem to list the number of DNFs, but just guessing by the number of people that were supposed to start, and then I have the list of finishers, it looks like it's almost 50% of people that dropped out of the 100K. And I don't have the stats on 100 milers, but I gotta imagine it's up there. But again, I mean, super tough terrain and 90 degrees. Anybody that went out and rode this is better for it for sure, whether they finished or not. It's interesting, most of the day I was surrounded by people either in front of me or behind me. And for some reason, when I got to the rock gardens here, I was completely by myself, and it just made for an unreal experience, just being in such a beautiful surrounding, just by myself with my own thoughts and trying to get through the day.
36 miles in. We've been riding for 6.5 hours. Aid station number 3 is here. I've got a drop bag with some stuff, but the aid station's been pretty well stocked, so I don't know if I'll need anything out of it. I could grab an extra water bottle, but I don't think I need it. Should have about 20 miles to go after this stop. I feel miserable, so I'm super happy that I'm still pedaling my bike. And yeah, just keep pedaling. We got an ambulance here, not a good sign.
When you leave the aid station, make sure you go this way, back out.
Okay, 100K, where do they split?
8 miles from here.
They split when you come down the hill out of Mohican.
Okay. Nice.
All right, so this is Mark. He's 60 years old, and he started 10 minutes behind me, and he not only did he catch me, but then he finished 10 minutes ahead of me. So overall, he was 20 minutes faster. And super strong rider. He's got an Iceman jersey on, just like I do. And his wife was even there at one of the aid stations. So I spent a fair amount of time riding with this guy, and he was great about, just encouraging and motivating. And there were a number of guys like Mark throughout the day that you'd spend, a little bit of time with, and everybody just average dudes just trying to get through the day and helping each other out and encouraging each other. And I think that's really the best part of an event like this, is just the camaraderie and the friendships that you build. And I've already connected with Mark on Strava, and it wouldn't surprise me if we rode together at some point again. So my video is about to cut out here. Next time I'll bring an extra battery pack for the GoPro. But I ended up finishing in 11 hours and 20 minutes. I started at 9:32 a.m. and I finished at 8:52 p.m. just before dark. By far the toughest day on a bike of my career. So the most emotional that I got on the day was with about 18 miles to go. I probably still had 3 hours left. And I got this feeling that I just knew I was gonna finish at that point, and there was nothing the trail could throw at me that was gonna stop me from getting to that finish line. So when I did get to the end, it was less a feeling of emotion and more just a feeling of relief that I was done. And of course, my buddy Mike was right there videotaping me at the finish. That was really awesome of him.
What do you think of that?
That was insane. That was insane.
You got grit, that's for sure.
That was insane.
Oh my gosh.